Janine Driver. Oh, God, she's getting up.
I have to give the dogs water. They just ate.
All right.
You can keep talking.
All right, so I'm going to set the stage. I started this question 6.5 hours ago, asking Janine how she became a badass. And we went to true origin story. What I want here is a story for how Janine Driver went from never being on... let me do a timeline here. Have you ever played the game Timeline, Janine, where I give you...
No.
All right, I give you two periods of history or two events in history, and you tell me which one came first.
Okay.
Or I'm going to give you a comparison. TED Talk, best-selling book.
Best-selling book.
Best-selling book, keynote speaking.
Keynote speaking.
Keynote speaking was before best-selling book.
No, best-selling book first, actually. I was still at ATF when I became a New York Times bestseller. Well, I just left ATF.
All right. Best-selling book, podcast interviews.
Best-selling book.
Okay. Best-selling book, appearing on radio show.
Radio show.
All right. That's what I suspected, right? I suspected that your transfer from badass Janine to badass Janine, who then started getting media attention, and we want to turn your story into a book, or we'd love to have you on our podcast, or we'd love to pay you $25,000 to come speak at our event, started with the Ron and Fez story.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Set the stage. What was going on in your life, and then tell the Ron and Fez story.
I was
working at ATF.
Working at ATF in Washington D.C. I was. I don't think I was married yet.
2000?
2003? 2002, 2003.
Okay.
I was living in this house that I'm in right now in Alexandria, Virginia, with my boyfriend at the time. I think it was before we got married. And I had taken a class called the Landmark Forum in Canada on Victoria Island. And it just gave me tools that life is empty and meaningless and we add meaning. And just they give you a whole bunch of techniques. You know, I'm sure Tony Robbins teaches similar stuff, or you may have read books similar. Really, I connect it all, again, to fearlessness. And my background in college was English communications with a concentration in public relations, and that's important because I launched a class. I put a class online. Well, I don't even know if it was online. I put it in a newspaper. Like
short courses? Or
yeah, and I did a class that was called How to Have a Date 6 Nights a Week If You Want. And I was doing one in DuPont Circle in D.C. and one in New York City the following week, February 7th, 2003. Oh, yeah, so 2003. February 7th, 2003, and then February 14th, 2003 in New York. How to Have a Date 6 Nights a Week If You Want. I was combining neuro-linguistic programming with some body language stuff. And
stuff that you had learned and stuff that you were using in ATF.
Yes. So I had written a press release because my degree, my concentration was public relations. But I didn't know how to play the game. So people right now who are going to come in the Janine Driver Awesome Academy here, Speakers Academy, you don't write a press release, bro. You don't do that. You write, if you're pitching media, they don't want your press release. They want a pitch. A pitch is different than a press release. If you send them a press release, it says you don't know how to play the game. You're not speaking the right language to the producer. So I didn't know that. In college, they didn't teach me that. Tell me, you write a press release. So I wrote a press release. Janine Driver teaching how to have a date 6 nights a week if you want. And what I did is women only. Men can join us for drinks afterwards. Women only. I thought that would be my little marketing niche thing. I had like 5 people sign up, by the way. It was like $20 each. I paid for the embassy suites. So I think I paid $500 to use the space. So I had like 3 to 5 people. I didn't have a lot of people signed up. But I had my press release. I went to the library and I looked up. This is before Ron and Fez. Yeah, I don't know if you know this part, but I went to the local library here in Rose Hill, Alexandria, and I looked up. They have a book in the library of all the media contact information. Today you could probably get on the internet. We didn't have access to all that stuff back then. That wasn't online. So I open up this book and I send it to all these TV shows, these radio shows, and I get all their phone numbers. I write them all down. It takes me days. I spent like a week. Then I remember I was traveling to California. I went to a Kinko's and I faxed out my press release to all this contact information. So I had all these fact sheets.
And just as a thing, the reason you were doing this was giggles or to make some money.
I wanted media to come and cover my event.
No, right. But the reason you were doing the event was for either making some money or to grow your...
I wanted to leave ATF.
You wanted to leave ATF, so you were like, this is going to be my path. I'm going to teach people blank. Okay,
yeah, I'm going to be like the famous
person
who teaches people how to find love.
All right, that's fine. So you had a vision for yourself. You had a lane you wanted to drive down. If you want, you were in the driver's seat. You wanted to drive down this lane. You had chosen your lane.
Yeah.
You haven't even listened to that video.
Yeah.
And all right, keep going.
So I spent days I had to pay for it. I faxed it from this Kinko's. It was literally, I think, 2:30, 3:30, 4 in the morning, all night long, because time was of the essence, because my show was coming up the following weekend. So I wanted media to cover it, because I knew if I could get media attention, how to have a date 6 nights a week if I want, then that's all you just need that, and then I could put that on my website, and it's evergreen, right? Because evergreen, for people who don't know, it's not saying Donald Trump is our president, because that's not evergreen, because in 3 years he won't be, right? It's timeless. It's not coded by an event happening in our world. So this would be evergreen. It could live on my website forever. So I knew media was super important. I focused on the media, and I got no bites, zero, not one phone call, nothing. And I sent out, I want to say, 500 press releases. I did same press release. I just sent out like 500 constantly. I wrote them all down. Nothing, zero. I come back from California, and again, I'm still with ATF. I was teaching firearms trafficking for ATF. I come back. I'm with my boyfriend. Later became my husband, the father of my 3 children, or our 3 children, and he's sick as a dog. He has strep throat. He's really sick. I leave ATF. It's in the evening. It's like 6 o'clock at night. I'm driving back from Washington, D.C., south to Alexandria, Virginia, and I'm listening. We didn't have Sirius XM. There was no satellite radio back then in 2003. And I am listening to a radio show called Ron and Fez Radio Show. I like feisty people. They're funny. They were I don't know if they're still out there, but they were very, very funny. And my boyfriend at the time, he asked me if I could stop and get Gatorade for him and some medicine before coming home. I go, yeah, he's super sick. I'm driving. I could tell you exactly where I pulled over. And it's funny, I don't have the best memory, but there's some things that are so epic that are like instilled in my brain. And I'm driving up this hill. It's called Franconia, and it's a hill. And I'm driving up Franconia. I'm listening to Ron and Fez, and a sidekick named Wonder Boy is late. And they go, bro didn't exist then. Wonder Boy, why are you late? And he makes up some excuse. And they're like, you're a liar. You're a liar. That's a lie. That's a lie. I go, boom, that's my window. That's my window. See, you have to be open. God delivers, or the universe, whatever you believe, not in the way you expect it. I'm doing press releases. It'll show up, but you have to be open to seeing it in different ways, right? It's not the exact way you see it. So I was like, oh, this God just opened this window for me. This is it. I'm going to tell them I'm the human lie detector. I'd call myself the lion tamer. I created the moniker lion.
You had already created
Yes.
it? Okay, so you had already thought of yourself as the human lie detector and the lion tamer.
Yes, because after the Landmark Forum, I took it in Canada, and I met a woman there that introduced me to a woman who created websites. And I hired her to create a website, and I created the moniker LYIN Tamer, so I could tell if you're a lion, lionandtamer.com. I'm pretty creative, and I thought that was a catchy thing. I say in another life I'd probably be a marketing person. I love marketing people. So I already created this website with nothing on it. And I didn't know really what I was going to do with my life. I knew God had something bigger for me than ATF. And I love ATF. I still love ATF. And
let me ask you a question.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Why did but the workshop that you were doing was not about lie detecting or body language. It was about how to have a date. Well, I guess body language.
Well, it was those things, but for dating.
But it was, okay, so it was for dating, but it was explicitly about telling if people are lying?
No, it was how to have a date 6 nights a week if you want.
Yeah.
How to spot liars and master manipulators in their dating profiles.
So you can date
AOL
them.
dating.
So you can date them?
Yeah. So AOL dating was existing then, and Match.com was existing.
Okay.
I met my boyfriend, later my husband, on Match.com.
Okay.
So how to spot it, how to rewrite your profiles.
Uh-huh.
Women write them and then show them to their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Write your profile and have your guy friends look at it.
Absolutely.
And guys, you write your profile and show it to the women you work with.
Yeah, I don't care.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't care.
So, and then NLP, how to write your profile so you're touching the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic person. And I did exercises, and I put them in hot seats, and
I got you.
all that stuff.
All right,
Where to
so
sit on a date. There's a side that's a good side, a side that's a good bad
I was
side.
just trying to figure out whether. Okay, so keep going.
So all that. So I have 5 or 6 people that signed up, 3 to 5. It wasn't a lot, a handful of people. And Ron and Fez say, Wonder Boy, you're a liar. I go, this is my opportunity. So now I'm sitting there manifesting and praying, say the number, say the number, say the number, say the number, say the number. I don't even think we had Google then. If we did, people weren't using it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was out in the world somewhere.
Yeah.
So otherwise I would have Googled their number, but I'm like, I'm driving. Say the number, say the number. They say the number. I pull over right here. There's a middle school here, Mark Twain Middle School. I pull over in the parking lot, and I type the number in my phone as fast as I possibly can, because I'm trying to memorize it. I don't have a pen. And I'm like, please let this be the number. And it was the number. And I call, and it's busy. I call again, it's busy. I call again, it's busy. I call again, it's busy. Call again, it's busy. Call again, it's busy. Call again. Wonder Boy, on a Fez show. I go, Wonder Boy. Janine Driver. I'm the human lie detector. They call me the lion tamer, Lyin, because I can tell if you're lying. And I know as a fact, bro. Well, the bro didn't exist. I know as a fact, Wonder Boy, you're a liar about why you were late. I want to tell Ron and Fez how they can figure it out. He goes, please hold. 5 seconds later, we're live with Janine Driver, the lion tamer, because she could tell if people are lying. Janine, Wonder Boy just shared with us that you told him that you could teach us how to tell when he's lying. Is this true? I'm like, yes, it is. What's your experience? Well, ATF wouldn't allow me to say. I had to get permission to do all this from the lawyers at ATF. And I said, I'm going to be on TV. So if we back up, talk about manifesting. So remind me of the Dan Kennedy video. Did I tell you about the Dan Kennedy video? So we got to go there next. Because if we back up a step, that's really, it started with Dan Kennedy, I manifested, I wrote a letter to the ATF lawyers. I want to do outside employment. I want to be on TV shows, radio shows. I'm going to write a book. And I'm going to travel around the world teaching classes on body language and reading people and detecting deception.
2002-3.
2002-3. And ATF took about 8 months to approve it. They were laughing behind my back about my ego, thinking that I'm going to be on TV shows and radio shows, but nothing of it. The only thing they said is I couldn't say that I worked for ATF. That's it. But they didn't say, I couldn't say I trained federal law enforcement on how to tell if people are lying. So I said to Ron and Fez, how do you know this? I go, well, I train federal law enforcement, but on how to read body language, and I'm parlaying it into dating and da-da-da. They thought it was sexy and cool. All right, I said, tell me what happened. What did he say? What did he do? Did he do a shoulder shrug? Did his lips disappear? I started asking questions. Yeah, he said this, he said that. I knew you're going to think I'm making this up, but I go, watch your big butts. Liars, we got to watch your big butts. The liars love the butt. Downey Deutsch on The Big Idea said to me, the nicest thing my father ever said to me is I remind him of his father. I know that sounds strange, but why does that sound strange, bro?
Right.
What liars love the word but. I know that you're going to think I'm making this up, but I know you're going to think I'm lying, but I know you think I'm going to exaggerate here, but be very cautious of the big but. So Ron and Fez loved it. The segment was like 10 minutes. They were getting a kick out of it. They go, Janine, we need to have you in the show. We want to put Wonder Boy in the hot seat. We want to have you as a guest in the show. You're awesome. We love you. We're going to have you in the show. I go, I have a class this week called How to Have a Date 6 Nights a Week if you want. It's over in DuPont Circle. It's women only. The men can join us for drinks after. Oh, that's not fair. Women only. You're giving women tools. We need the tools. Like, bros, we got to use it on, well, no bros. And, so I got my marketing. Well, guess what? I think, yes, I talked on the radio. I think that's it. But God had bigger plans. So the next day I get a phone call from a producer at Fox News. Janine, I heard you on the Ron and Fez show. This is like Tuesday, I guess. And my class is Saturday. I heard you on the Ron and Fez show last night. You were awesome. I caught the tail end. I think I'm going to send a camera crew to videotape your class. I have a date 6 nights a week if you want for Tony Snow show. Tony Snow later became the White House press secretary under George W. Bush. He later died of colon cancer. Nice guy. And, but I want to listen to the whole show. When are you going to be on Ron and Fez? I go, I don't know. They didn't give me a date. Well, I can't send a crew out until I hear you. I go, not a problem. I'll let you know. Gives me his phone number. I now call, as you might imagine, Ron and Fez show. I now find their website online. I'm emailing everybody there. Hey, when are you going to have me on? I need to be on this week. A producer from Fox is going to listen to me. When am I going to be on? Now it's Wednesday. No, now it's Tuesday. I might be mixing a piece of this element up, but I think it's like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I said, I think it's probably Tuesday. I think it's probably the same day that producer called me from Fox, because now I'm like, time is of essence. Yeah. So I said to the last number, and I'm calling phone numbers and leaving messages. The marketing person, the advertising person, they had like 22 numbers. I'm calling everybody. The general manager. Hi, my name's Janine Driver. I was on the show. And so finally I said, in the last 5 messages, hey, I'm going to be the girl in the Honda minivan with the hazard lights on in your parking lot. I have your address. I'll be there tomorrow night, Wednesday. It's a gray minivan. Hazard lights are on. When Ron and Fez are ready to come and get me, I'll be the lunatic out in the parking lot ready to give you this information. 45 minutes go by. My phone rings. Janine, Wonder Boy. Tomorrow night's great. We'll see you at 6 or whatever. See you at 5. See you whatever time. Mm-hmm. I went, was on the show, killed it. I don't even remember. I actually don't remember what I taught on the show. I don't remember any of that. That was a blur because it's insignificant. Because the producer calls me, I tell him, he listens to the whole thing. The next day, he says, I'm going to send a camera crew there. Now, mind you, now this is Thursday. Frasier, now I have like 12 people signed up for the class.
Right.
Thursday, they're going to send a camera crew? He goes, how many people do you have there? I go, I don't know, it's about 100. I lie. They call that a pro-social lie.
Right.
So, I go, I don't know, it's like 100. I don't have to look it up, I'm not sure. But I have like 16 people signed up. So now I call every human being I've ever met in the state of Virginia, and I offer tickets for free. Any women you know, I need you to get 10 women there. I need you to get 10 women there. I need you to be there for me. If anything you're going to do, please, please, please. I think I had 80-some women show up. They brought 3 camera crew. They videotaped me. They got B-roll footage. I was on Tony Snow February 7th, 2003. Here in Washington, D.C., I wore a white shirt. I didn't know you're not supposed to wear white on TV because it bleeds. I didn't know this. No one taught me. I now teach this. Tony Snow got such a kick out of me. My boyfriend, Leif Larson's there. Later becomes my husband. He's there. I get off. One of the things I say to Tony Snow is, women on dates, we should sexily cross and uncross our legs slowly, but not Sharon Stone-ish.
Yeah.
And Tony Snow laughs hysterically. Fox News, big Fox News, not local Fox News. My Aunt Janet, my dad's sister, is in Puerto Rico watching Fox News and sees me in Fox News, freaks out. This is where it all begins. And I'm walking to the elevator with Leif, my boyfriend that I live with. Get away. And Pepper, go lay down, guys. And I'm just walking on cloud 9. Right. I'm like, this is the best moment of my entire life. And the producer comes running after me and says, Tony Snow wants to have you back on Valentine's Day, February 14th, for the New York City show. And we can't send a camera crew there, but we want to have a segment on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Have you back. We want to do a part 2. He absolutely loved you. He learned so much. This was so fun. He loved your personality. And I was like, okay. And so February 14th, you can see both these interviews, by the way, on YouTube. They're still out there. If you put Tony Snow, Janine Driver, the footage looks so old.
We'll have them on the thing.
Okay, and went to New York City. That one was even better. By the way, sidebar, I went online and I did a search for articles on nonverbal behavior for dating, behavior on dating, where to sit on dating. I just started doing this search, and I would read it because I'm law enforcement, spilling into dating. No one trained me on dating. I just created it. And I would read a tip online, and I go, I don't believe that. That's not true, but this is true. And it just sparked my creativity. And I'm like, that's not true, because this would be, and so I put together a system. I'm a systems girl. I like systems. I like acronyms and little rhymes. And that was on February 14th, 2003. Here's the best part. I put February 7th, February 14th, Tony Snow, on liontamer.com. 10 months later, 8 to 10 months later, a year later, I get a phone call. I'm on a train going from D.C., ironically, to New York City for something. And I get a phone call from a producer at the Today Show. I'm only 3 websites that were out there that called themselves body language experts. It was me, Alan Pease and his wife, Pease. They have a big book on the body language. And Dr. something or other, this woman, Dr. something, I forget her name. That was it. There were 3 websites. They said, out of the 3 websites on body language that they could see, I popped up. Now I'm probably page 50. I don't know. I don't care about that stuff anymore. Because now anyone who took a psychology class calls themselves a body language expert. And the producer said, out of the 3 sites, we saw your 2 interviews on Fox News with Tony Snow. We love your personality. You're a perfect fit for the Today Show. I think I had probably have appeared on the Today Show probably over 100 times. I met people. I mean, everything changed. One of the segments I did on the Today Show was with Kate White. Kate White was the editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine, the editor-in-chief. Beautiful, blonde. She used to be a model, tiny peanut. They had us together, Kate White and I. And at the end of the segment, I had already done numerous other segments with 2 people. I thanked her for not stealing the whole show. I said, you were so balanced. I said, they would ask her a question. I get emotional.
She's crying again.
They would ask her a question, and Kate White had no ego, would turn the question over to me. So she would answer quite briefly, and she goes, Janine, what are your thoughts on this? So Kate White was like lifting me up. Like, I love women who lift women up. She was already the editor-in-chief of Cosmo. She could have stole the whole show, her ego, but she didn't. I'm a huge Kate White fan. I love her. Buy all her books. She writes murder mystery books now that are amazing. So I enjoyed her so much. There are other people, I won't say their names, that when I was on their segments with them, that I spoke maybe 2 lines and they spoke the rest of the 6 minutes or 7 minutes. I would start to speak and they'd talk over me. And so those people I don't like. And I only say good things. My humor is for healing. But Kate White, I wrote her a handwritten thank you note. Jesse Itzler loves handwritten thank you notes. My mother taught me to do handwritten things. By the way, I'm in the penalty box because I've not written written thank you notes for a long time. I need to get on it. I wrote Kate White a handwritten thank you note, acknowledging her grace and how she treated me and that she shared her time. She basically gave me her stage time, and she was so warm and loving, and it was such a pleasure meeting her. Now, I get flowers from Kate White and a handwritten thank you note on Cosmo stationery thanking me for sending her a thank you note. That it's a lost art, people don't do it. It made her day. She's thanking me for my thank you note. And sends me flowers for being a new friend, wishing me good luck on my leaving, because I told her on the QT that I was leaving ATF. And guess what happens? I think it's a year and a half, maybe another. It all happened pretty quickly when you look at it backwards. But after the Kate White interview, now I'm on all these different TV shows. I've gotten on Rachel Ray. That's another story, how I got on Rachel Ray. Steve Harvey show, Anderson Cooper Live later. When I was on Rachel Ray, she sat on my lap, and I ended up getting a book deal. That's another story. But when I get this book deal, it goes into a bidding war. And the reason it went into a bidding war is when I met with Dan Lazar, my literary agent, I have hiccups. When I met with Dan Lazar, my literary agent, did I tell you this? He sat like 15 feet away from me in his office. He's in New York City. And he's literally 15 feet away in a chair, and I'm on the other side 15 feet away in another chair. And he starts talking and said, I saw you, Rachel, sit on your lap. I'm like, there's a book deal. This woman couldn't get a second date. She's beautiful, can get a first date. Body language can prevent a woman from getting a date. There's definitely a book in there. And I go, Dan, can I stop you really quick? What's happening? Like, what's happening? Why are we, this is 20 years before COVID, I'm like, what is going on? Why are you sitting, 20 feet, legitimately 20 feet away? He goes, I have a giant coffee table coming that is like an 8-foot low, it's like 2 feet off the ground, low coffee table coming. And so I put these seats where they're going to be on either end of the coffee table. I go, okay, you do know that the coffee table currently is not here.
Yeah, right.
And this conversation we're having is incredibly awkward and weird. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I go, well, first of all, I'm sitting directly across from you, which is confrontational. I'd much rather be off-center. And I start teaching him, like, even on a date, you want to be off-center. You don't want to sit at the Outback Steakhouse directly across from your date because that's stress increases. You want to be 30% off-center. So he has a visual way out, and I have a visual way out, right? Like, you want to angle. Even now, you and I are facing each other, but your body's angled towards the window. My body's angled towards the fireplace. We're still 30% off-center, even though we're opposite. So I'm teaching him, and he goes, I never bring in the authors. I always go in pitch. And he goes, I think this is going to go into a bidding war, and I want to take you into every pitch. And what you just did here with me, I want you to do with all of the agents. And it went into a huge bidding war. I got almost $500,000 for that book deal. $500,000. I went out with another author, I won't tell you her name, but for dinner when I was writing the book proposal. And she was in town for D.C., and she teaches etiquette. And I said to her about her big book deal. It was a big deal. I said, what did you get? Do you mind if I ask so I know it's good? She goes, well, yeah, she got $35,000. And she said, but I just want to let you know, don't have your expectations high. That's a high end. $35,000 is really big. Like, your first book deal, you'll be really lucky, Janine, if you get an advance for like 10 to 15. That would be great. So I said, great. Well, when I got, it was something like $349,000 book deal. And, or $389,000. It was up there. And I went out and I got it with Random House, and that woman came back to town, and we went out to dinner again, that same restaurant. She was, if you don't mind me asking, what did you get? And I said, oh, I did pretty good. I'm really happy with it. She goes, you got the 35? Did you get 35,000?
Oh, God. And
I said, a little more than that. And she was, a little more? And she was, please tell me. And I was like, $389,000. She goes, you got a book deal for $389,000. And I said, yeah. Yes, I did. And again, it goes back, really, I'm a positive person. I don't do stinking thinking. I am a manifester. I manifest. My mother would make us go say good things, die smiley, positive things in the mirror. I have things that are going to change people's lives. So, and my lunacy helped me, you know. Did I tell you I changed? This helps my book deal. Did I tell you about changing my name to Libby in Seattle? And how it helped me get the book deal?
No.
When I lived I hate the name Janine. I think that "een" part is so whiny. Janine. So in Seattle, I was 29 years old. I changed my name to Libby. I felt like everybody loves a Libby. By the way, I've never met a Libby. I don't know a Libby. But I felt like Libby is a friendly name. I feel like when you do Libby, she writes a smiley face at the end of her name.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm like, I don't even know Libby. I don't know a cartoon Libby, a character. I just love Libby. So I'm like, hi, you reached Libby. I can't get to the phone right now. Please leave a message. I'll get back to you. And my mother called one time, and she goes, hi, Libby. I guess I'm kind of confused. I thought I called Janine's number. It sounds like Janine, but I'm trying to reach my daughter Janine. It sounds like Janine, but I'm not sure what the Libby thing's about. If you can tell Janine to call me. And I call my mother, and she goes, what's going on? And I go, I changed my name to Libby. She goes, what are you talking? I go, Mom, I'm sorry. I know you had a babysitter named Janine, and she was your favorite babysitter, and you named me Janine after your favorite babysitter. But the name Janine, unless I'm in France, je m'appelle Janine. Comment ça va? Janine is sexy and beautiful. Janine. Janine is Janine. I hate it. Janine. And I go, I'm trying it on. Well, needless to say, Libby stuck around for a month, and then Libby was making poor choices, Frasier, and you went home. So
baby.
Libby made some poor choices. So not the kind of poor choices that make good storytelling, the kind of poor choices that Libby had to leave town.
I got you. They need some penicillin.
Yeah,
I got you.
We've never seen Libby. Okay. No one knows really where Libby is.
Okay.
So she had a dodge. She had to leave out of town fast. So Libby's gone. So that was in 1999, Libby was in town in Seattle, Washington. So now I get my book deal in 2024, and I go in to this bidding war. I go in, meet with Hyperion, their Walt Disney World, Then I meet with Random House, Crown. It's a division of Random House. That's who my book is published by. You Say More Than You Think. And then Hay House Publishing, and the one in New Jersey. All the business books are published by them. I'm forgetting. They're over in Hoboken. All the business guys write their books through that company. And something Brothers or something. I don't know. A big one. So they all go in this bidding war. But I go in to Random House, Crown, and one of the people there is named Libby. And I'm coming in. Normally they don't bring in the author. And I'm analyzing the body language of who's sitting where, and I come right in and I just do, you must be the most important person. You're framing. I like to say frame yourself to fame yourself. I can see you two are mirroring each other, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you seem da-da-da-da, right? And one person's named Libby. And she's like, oh, I'm Libby. I'm Heather Jackson. I'm Libby, blah, blah, blah. I go, Libby? I was a Libby for a month in Seattle. So my, lunacy now comes into a funny rapport building song. And I go, do you know why I was Libby? I go, because I feel like everybody loves a Libby. And look at your body language. I go, your body language is open. You're smiling right out of the gate. You came in, you shook my hand. You're so friendly and warm. Look at this. I go, this is what I'm saying. Libby's send the message of warm and likable. And you're total, whoever, I don't know why they named you Libby, but they made a good choice. And I'm just being my funny antics and charming, and I get the book deal. By the way, once I get the book deal, my editor is Heather Jackson. She's the boss. She did Tim Ferriss's books, The 4-Hour Work Week, which, by the way, originally was called something like How to Be a Drug Dealer for Corporate America. Some book like that.
Horrible.
Yeah, and he was going to die in the sword of that name, and she goes, no, it's going to be called The 4-Hour Work Week. And he said, no. And she goes, sorry, I have the ultimate approval. It's in the contract. He was pissed. He went on to become multi-billionaire.
I've never heard that before.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, How to Become a Drug Dealer for Corporate America.
I mean, I've never heard him say that it was somebody else's idea for the book.
Oh yeah. No,
he may have. Don't get me wrong.
He had the book name. I mean, he had the book content.
Yeah,
but the name came from Heather Jackson.
I got you. Yeah.
And then that changed everything, right?
100%.
It makes Tim Ferriss really. He was already Tim Ferriss, but everything Heather. You know what she did?
I don't think he was Tim Ferriss
until the book 4-Hour Work Week.
I mean, that was the first time I ever.
Yeah,
I'm
me
sure.
Too.
I mean, I'm sure he had a podcast or he had a blog or whatever.
Yeah.
But 4-Hour Work Week was
put him on the map.
Made Tim Ferriss.
So Heather Jackson, you know what other books she did? Is all the Atkins books from the 80s and 90s. All those Atkins books. Tons of them. Know what else? Change Your Body, Change Your Brain. Daniel Amen. Dr. Daniel Amen. I think that's a Heather Jackson book. So every single book.
Is he
Dan Pink?
No. Daniel Lehman, didn't he do another one?
Yeah.
Maybe I am conflating with Pink.
You might be.
All right, go on.
So if you look up Heather Jackson and the books that she's the editor of, every single thing she touches turns to gold. But here's the deal. Hyperion offered like 80,000 more than Crown, Random House. And I followed Hyperion. Did I tell you the story?
Oh, I do. I don't remember it, but yes, you have told me.
So I followed the money. But guess what? When I followed the money, I said yes to Hyperion, Disney World. And the next day I get flowers from Heather Jackson from Crown that says, hey, I understand you went with Hyperion. I'll be the first one to buy your book. I know they're going to do a great job. They're a great publishing company. They're going to do a great job. I'll be the first one to buy your books, and sends me flowers. I hope in the future we will get to write a book together. I don't hear from Hyperion, not an email, not a phone call, nothing. And 6 days passed, 5 or 6 days, nothing. Not even a text message, welcome to the team, nothing. I'm on a flight going to do a Today Show segment with my friend Melanie, who's done all the Tony Robbins stuff. And she's, by the way, this is God. The Today Show booked my flight 2 weeks earlier. The day before, I'm always allowed to bring 1 or 2 guests in the green room. So I call my friend Melanie. I go, hey, I know this is last minute, but if you want to book a flight, you can come and sit in the green room while I'm on the Today Show. She was an entrepreneur at the time. She goes, count me in. She books her flight on Delta Airlines, going into LaGuardia, DC to LaGuardia. My flight's been booked 2 weeks earlier. Guess what? It's a sold-out flight. Guess what seat Melanie sits next to? Janine Driver.
Wow.
She booked it the night before. She happens to be sitting in the seat that the Today Show booked for me a week earlier. So we're talking the whole time. I'm telling her about the book deal, and I'm feeling anxious that I haven't heard from Hyperion. And she goes, what's your gut telling you? I go, my gut's telling me I made a mistake. I followed the money instead of following the talent. I should have followed the talent. I should have followed Heather Jackson. And she goes, Janine, you're going to spend $80,000 in therapy if you're working with a company that can't communicate and you're writing a communication book and they're not communicating.
Yeah.
I go, but it's too late. She goes, did you sign a contract? I go, no. She goes, then it's not too late. We land in New York City. I get off the plane. I'm walking up the ramp calling Dan Lazar, my agent. Dan, I made a mistake. Can you please call Random House and see if the offer is still on the table? He goes, Janine, if you do this, I've only heard of it happening one time ever in publishing that he's heard of, and you'll burn a bridge with Hyperion and Walt Disney World. You'll burn a bridge with them if you do this. And I go, I can't. I have to see if the offer still is on the table. He calls Heather Jackson. What do you think happens?
She is on vacation and she's eating barbecue. I have no idea, but I'm guessing she accepts your offer.
She freaks out, says, hell yes, it's on the table. Yes. Moral of that story, even if, and I just said to my sister, in 2026, any company, 2026 coming up.
Okay.
And if any company that is considering me as a speaker does not book me as a speaker, I just told her this a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I want to start sending something, a package. The next day, I understand you chose someone else as a speaker. I have no doubt in my mind your event is going to be a huge success. I'll be cheering you on over here from Alexandria, Virginia. I hope we get to work together in the future, Janine Driver.
You said that to my daughter a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
We were here in your
and I didn't
room.
Do it.
No, she was supposed to do it. That was part of the plan, was to create these systems so that these things happen regardless of whether the owner of the company is ADHD. But I remember that, and I was like, "You're right. That is."
And send it to the people who picked me too, by the way, not just
the
people who don't pick me.
It's
both.
It's just about being a good person.
Yeah.
All right, that was awesome. I want to hear the Dan Kennedy story at some other point. I want to hear the Rachel Ray story at some other point. But I want to end our little time together, because I'm going to go eat, with 5 things that I noticed that I wrote down on this paper towel, because I don't have my notebook. And all you have are mind mapping things.
One last thing
to
close this loop. The missing piece. It all ties it all together, which is this. I write the book with Crown and Heather Jackson. She's the best editor in the world. It is amazing. It's called You Say More Than You Think. It was 3 times the length. She curves it back. I get a co-writer halfway through because my ADD, I'm writing in circles. I write the book. They create a first draft of the book that they send out to the media for the media to look at, to the Today Show, any media that I want, right? Ron and Fesh, everybody. They send it to everybody for publicity. The publicity team does. And it's called, I'm now forgetting. When you write a book, there's like first pass, second pass, third pass, and then they do like the media book. And it just has like a plain cover. It's like green.
Okay.
And it says media. I forget what the name of that particular thing is. But anyway, guess who it gets sent to? It shows up on a desk. 2 years, or a year and a half, 2 years. It took me a year to write the book. 2 to 2.5 years later, Kate White's desk at Cosmopolitan magazine. In comes this book. She sees it with a pile of books, and she sees the name, Janine Driver. She reads the book, Janine Driver. She has her assistant call me. I get emotional again. She has her assistant call me. Kate White wants to give you an 8-page spread in Cosmo. To highlight your book. We're going to send a photographer out to Washington, D.C. We want you to gather your friends, your family, your clients. We're going to take pictures of them at bars, at interviews, everything in your book that you talk about. We're going to go send a professional camera person. We're going to give you an 8-page spread. We want to don't do this, do that. Instead of this, do that. We want a before and after. They send out the camera crew. I get my interns, all these people. They're in Cosmopolitan magazine. They then duplicate some of the pictures with models, all this shit. I get an 8-page spread in this is being developed. Also, Kate White calls, her assistant calls and says, we do every month a training salon where Kate White brings someone in and trains everyone from the photographers to the editors to everybody that works at Cosmopolitan magazine. Kate White would like you to do a training salon for us. There's no payment, but you come on in and you'll teach all of our team. I go, not a problem. Here's the problem. When I got my book deal, that big money, I quit ATF. April 15th, 2004, quit ATF, thinking the money's coming. You don't get the money until your first pass is done. So I have no money. I left my $115,000 job. My minivan is repossessed out of my driveway while I'm snuggling with my little baby upstairs, right? Because now I got a kid. So now my beep, 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 3:34 in the morning, my minivan's repossessed out of my driveway. I'm in a financial difficulty. I'm calling my parents to borrow money. I just quit my safe government job. My dad thinks I'm a fucking moron. Who leaves a government? She's got her head up her fucking ass, you know. It's his favorite line back then. And he was right. I mean, I'm not an investigator. I didn't say, when do I get my first payment? I just assumed I get it all. That's not how it works. So I tell you all this because to go to train the training salon, I don't have a pot to piss in. You know what I took? I took from Chinatown, the Chinatown bus that goes into New York City,
sure.
the mega bus that goes into New York City.
$1.
Yeah, $1 each way or $8 each way, depends. And you're packed in there. I take the bus. I go to New York City. The Kate White's assistant goes, which airport are you flying into? We'll send a car service to come pick you up. I'm not going to say I'm getting dropped off on the mega bus or the Chinatown bus. You know, I go,
ask her if the car could pick you up at DCA.
Yeah. That's what I should have said. I go, listen, no, I'm coming in a little early for business, so you give me the address, I'll just make my way over to Cosmo. I'm coming in early for business. I come in on the mega bus. I don't have money to stay over at a hotel, so I go in early in the morning, and then I'm going to come back as soon as I'm done speaking. I'm exhausted. So I go in, but I'm a yes person. Yes, and then figure it out, right? That's another story, Finding Garcia. I have a Finding Garcia policy. We'll talk about that another time. But anyway, I go teach the training salon, get a standing ovation from everybody at Cosmo, hugging Kate White, loving up on her. She gets a kick out of me. And my book is now published several months later. And the first week it comes out, Kate White.
Crying again.
Kate White makes sure that the issue with my 8-page spread comes out the week the book launches. And she wrote, in the beginning of the magazine is something called the letter from the editor, where the editor tells you about their favorite parts of the magazine and directs the reader where to go. And the whole letter from the editor, from Kate White, is talking about Janine Driver. We hired Janine to come train our team. She came in and trained every single person at Cosmo. We took 50 pages. Look at pages 43 to 52, and your life will be changed. The whole entire letter from the editor is from Kate White about me. And my book becomes a New York Times bestseller days later. Now, I'm on other shows. Martha Stewart had a show. I'm on the Today Show. I was on ESPN. Oh, by the way, and we'll have to talk about the media blitz of the book another time.
Yeah.
Because guess what else happened? Thank you, Jesus Christ. The day before my book launches and all this media blitz happens, a golfer by the name of Tiger Woods is splashed all over the media for having unprotected sex with hookers. He is now being interviewed the night before my big media launch. Tiger Woods gives his robotic speech on TV. So now the next day, Crown hops on it. I'm now on ESPN, I think 4 times that day. They're pulling me from one network to another. I'm analyzing Tiger Woods' confession, his robotic confession. And everyone's having me back. My book hits the New York Times bestsellers list, number 9. It takes like a week and a half for it to hit. It's number 9. I remained on the New York Times bestsellers list for 2 weeks. I had done a vision board with my cover of my book. You say, what do you think? And it said New York Times bestseller. I had that all on the vision board, and everything on that vision board came true. And it goes back to all these little things, like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. Kate White being on that show, her being friendly, giving me time, me writing her a thank you note, going back to Ron and Fez. I mean, going back all the way to the Landmark Farm. And if we go all the way back, we go back to my mother that said to me, Janine Driver, I could drop you in a room with 100 strangers and you'd leave with 100 friends. Having that belief system, those values of everything's happening for a reason, for my greater good, it all brings me to my success that I still have today. And every failure I say, okay, this failure is going to serve me in some way.
All right.
So there you go. That's it.
That's great. That's magnificent. That was exactly
what
I was. No, it's not. There's not going to be edit. It's just raw.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So you're going to listen to. It's going to be the joy of your life, guys. But here's what I pulled out. Because I think, we do want to distill down the lessons. And I think one starting is, if you have a vision and you clarify your vision and you focus, you believe that by like you said, accessing it in advance, you're not connecting the dots forward, but what you're doing is you're imagining the future that you want. Now, the future may be better and different than that, but you start with where you are. You're like, I want to be a New York Times bestseller. I want to leave ATF. I want this. Because that starts to inform the present. And really it does, think about reticular activating system. It really says you start to notice the things you want to notice. Okay.
Like the Ron and Fez radio show.
Absolutely.
Because the RAS is
absolutely. But that leads to, here's the second thing, and I think this is really important. It may be first and second might be, the first one's vision and manifesting. So second and third might be different orders. But here's what I did not hear at any time during this entire talk. Fear about your competence. Okay. The opportunity makes the unprepared person look foolish. Janine had honed her skills. Mm-hmm. Janine did when she got, hey, come up and train me at Cosmopolitan. Hey, we'll see you on Thursday. Hey, Tony Snow. There was no imposter syndrome.
No.
And even if you have inklings of the imposter syndrome, saying that you have the imposter syndrome is not an excuse to have the imposter syndrome. It's an access point to get better at what you're doing to abolish or to banish the imposter syndrome. So, if you don't have the excellence, if you're not a professional, if you're not a badass, you may want to be a badass, but if you look at it and you say there's a gap between you and being a badass, do the mind mapping. Identify what you need to be. Challenge yourself. Have somebody in this circle interview you on TV. Have them tear up a hot seat your product or your thing. Get a lane. Get a technology. Get a niche. Get something that makes you not just magnetic, but you can stand there and you can. I remember Jerry Seinfeld said this once. He was talking about this joke he did where he was like. He's talking about the Tide commercials.
Yeah.
Where they say, Tide can get the blood out of your shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, if you've got blood in your shirt, maybe laundry's not your number one priority. And he said, after that, that joke makes me feel like Thor with his hammer. Mm. I know that's going to kill. Mm. You want to feel like Thor with your hammer, with your message, with your lane, your approach, whatever it is, so that when Tony Snow contacts you and says, hey, we saw you on Ron and Fez, we'd love to interview you, you say, of course you do.
What day?
It'll be your pleasure.
Yeah.
It'll be your pleasure, Tony Snow, to interview you.
What I'm going to share with you.
Yeah, you want to have me talk to 1,500 chiefs of police? That's a bonus for you because I'm so awesome. And I'm not talking about fake it till you make it. Yeah. I'm talking about wherever you are on December 8th. Decide where you want to be in terms of your lane and your skill, and then get there. Janine's giving you the permission structure to do it, but you're the one who has to do it.
Well, listen, I'm going to say it's very important what you're saying here, Fraser, which is bring you to the table. Do you think if they brought those other two body language experts that were around back then, the Peases and that doctor lady, whatever her name is, do you think they would have said to Tony Snow, cross your and uncross your legs sexily, not Sharon Stone-ish?
Yeah.
No, they're not saying that because they're doctors, all three of them, right? So, but I brought me to the table, my sense of humor. So when I watch people speak, even on TV shows, I say, if I can give that same, everything you just said there for 3 minutes on that segment, if I could give that script to Fraser O'Leary and he could say the same exact thing, then you didn't do a good enough job because you need to bring you to the table.
Sure.
So if you took, anytime I'm on TV and you look at my script or even my TED Talks and you take my TED Talk verbatim and try to do it, you'll fall flat because you're not bringing Janine Driver vibe and personality.
Mine would be better.
And I think some people think because you have a well-written speech, that's fine. Simon Cowell used to say in American Idol, you're saying fine. You look good, you're saying fine, but you're not memorable. No one's going to remember you next week. It's what is the key thing about you that makes you different than other people in your lane? For me, my background is I'm a Boston girl. I got a little moxie. I'm a little edgy, and I did stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So what's your thing? I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm an emotional person. I cry all the time. That's just who I am. I can rub it in pretty fast. I dated a guy once, and he when I first met him, he saw me crying in one of my TED Talks, and he wanted to know if it was manipulative, if I just did it. I go, no, I cry all the time. I go, just stick around. So I cry constantly because I'm so empathetic. I can relive that moment.
Yeah.
I think that's just who I am. I'm an evaluator. I can relive into that. I'm an empath.
Well, and here's the thing. Regardless of, and there is no right. This is not a situation where be Janine or be Fraser or be this. But here's the biggest thing I would say. What I liked about what Janine, I took her phone away for a reason. What I liked about
my groceries are coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I liked about Janine is that it's the opposite of what Heather Jackson said. Heather Jackson said, "Hey, listen, I'm rooting for you. I hope we can work together sometime. I know they're going to do a great job with you. Here's the deal. You want to be in a place on some level where you are so good that you think the people who don't hire you made a mistake and you're trying to help them from making that mistake. I'm not saying be cocky. I'm saying be good. That's all I'll say. Second thing, and this might
I want you to repeat it because I think that's a really big takeaway.
Well,
I want you to say it again.
Here it is, guys. Be good at what you do, but the second piece is be so good at what you do and make what you do valuable enough that you're so good at what you do that you know that you're the person who is not answering your call, saying no to you, blowing you off, you know they're making a mistake. Yeah. And you're trying to help them avoid making that mistake. Again, how that plays out is different. But that puts you on the side of the angels. That means that you know you're good, you're quality.
I just said to Kyle Cover, I said, hey, when he said, this is unbelievable, I sent him a voice text and I said, I told you a year ago, Kyle, this is the new money ball of sports. Mm-hmm. And not taking it to the next level is a mistake.
Yeah.
It is the new money ball. I mean, I don't know anything about this coach, and I don't even know which part of what I said is accurate or not yet because I haven't talked to Kyle yet. Right. But whatever it is, it's getting me a phone call with the assistant general manager of an NBA basketball team. Whatever I said must be some type of accurate.
Well,
but I could have gave up on it.
Yeah, and this is where, and here's the deal: you not giving up on it is the love child of two very good parents.
Yeah.
One is you caring, and two is you being good. So if you are extraordinarily competent and you care about the person, then this is the thing.
I know I can impact them.
Well, and guys, as you're listening to this, it is very hard to tell the difference between people who care about you and who want you to be successful and people who are manipulative. As well it should be. They're going to talk to you in many cases the same way. Somebody who I'm coming over and I'm going to touch Janine's leg here. Somebody who comes over here and says, listen, I can't let you not buy this insurance. Okay? My mother died in a plane crash that made a house go on fire, and that family of 5, I can't let you not do it. Okay, that is incredibly impactful.
Yes.
Okay, conviction, there's things called admission against interest. There's all these tools that you can use robotically, systematically, strategically, whatever. And salespeople use these tools. But somebody whose mother died in a plane crash and blew up a house, and family didn't have any money, it's the same thing. It's going to look the same on some level. It may not feel the same, but that's where we're saying is choose something that's going to change people's lives. Mm-hmm. Get so good at it that you can't not be successful with people when you work on them. That's the mousetrap. All right, that's the better mousetrap. And then third, care enough about the people who are your target market to make sure that they get it. All right. Mm-hmm. All of that is to say, that's really powerful. Audacity. It takes audacity to say that what you have, somebody needs. Mm-hmm. If I go up, I've started training myself to do this on the Hinge stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying to somebody today, I was like, because I'm saying to these women, I'm like, listen, we may not be a match, but I still want you to do the love in the fishbowl. But I say, here's the deal. you're cute, I'm awesome. Or no, I said, you're cute, I'm single. But I said, listen, but we're both hot, and we got to stick together.
We're both hot. We got to stick together.
It's audacious.
That's funny. We got to stick together. We're both hot. We got to stick together.
It's audacious for me to say that I'm hot. It's audacious for me to say you're making a mistake if you don't do this. It's audacious to raise your hand and say, or it's audacious for you to say, what's the deal with this this space between us, guy who's interviewing me?
Lazar.
Well, it wasn't Lazar, right? It was the other
Dan
guy.
Lazar, my literary agent.
Oh, it was your literary. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point, though, is Janine putting on the workshop, audacious, right? Janine sending out the 500 press releases, audacious. Janine getting Gatorade for Leaf, not audacious, but her listening to the radio and then calling and telling Wonder Boy he's a liar, audacious, 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 audacious. So I don't want you to take that as fake it till you make it. No. What I want you to do is say you're becoming something that's valuable. Be audacious on behalf of the future that you're becoming. Don't do it instead of. Don't be audacious instead of competence. Just order of operations. Fourth thing. Parlaying failure. Okay. And both of these fourth and fifth things. The fifth thing is celebrate the cool connections. Janine's talking about a thank you note to White.
Yeah, Kate White.
Kate White. That traces back to blank, right? That traces all the way up to 8-page spread in Cosmo, New York Times bestseller, then this, then this, then this, then this. All of these things. She parlays Libby into the
rapport
Crown
building.
and rapport building. And the failure, I mean, listen, God bless. I don't know why Wonder Boy wasn't there. But if she's parlaying some failure, maybe that was a traffic accident, whatever it was. Tiger Woods, this parlay, and make the connection. What we want to do with this circle is just remind you and celebrate these things. How did you fail today? Who were you telling me about that said, what are your failures? That somebody's father said to the kid, I want you to tell me what you failed today.
That's Sarah Blakely's dad.
Sarah Blakely's dad said, tell me about the nose you got today.
He would be disappointed if they had no nose that day.
No nose, right? Yeah. You need a nose job. All right, so the other piece is we want to celebrate the coolest connection, the coolest parlay. So let's say you did bomb at your first podcast interview. Okay, what do you do with it? Because now you got a second chance. That wasn't a home run, so you can't report a home run on our coaching circle. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to turn that? How are you going to make alchemy turn that from lead into gold? All right. So these are just a few of the takeaways. This might be your food. These are.
I'm taking a picture of you because you got that MC Hammer chain on there. I think it's so funny.
So these are some of the takeaways, and we got a lot more of this stuff. Somebody was asking me about what's this coaching circle going to be like? And here's the deal, guys. This is it. All right? This is what it looks like. It looks like Janine sharing about either her past experience or her present experience, and then us connecting you with these project pilots to help you
teaching
implement.
My tools that I use. And
all right. So thank you for spending that time with us.
And we get to be friends.
Yay! We're going to do this at a beach.